Domain controllers are actually nothing but servers that host the Active Directory Domain Services, or ADDS database. So all domain controllers are actually just database servers. They just store objects like users, computers, groups, so not the traditional type of objects people normally think of when they think of a database server. The database file is named ntds.dit. So all your objects, like your users, computers, all physically lives in this file. Now, when you build a new domain controller, this file starts off as 20 megabytes, so very small. As you add more users, it just increases in size. But as far as databases go, this is still a relatively small file. You'll often see Microsoft Access databases that are actually much larger in size than an Active Directory database. Domain controllers also host the sysvol. This is actually a share, contains things like group policies, which we actually cover in detail shortly in this course. But a lot of the things that other domain controllers need to access, things your users need to access, like when they log on, they will just live in that sysvol shared folder. Now, we don't do anything with either of those. The only interaction you have, when we install Active Directory, it will allow you to choose the location that the Active Directory database is going to be stored in, and you can choose the location the sysvol is going to be stored in. Now, by default, both are stored down on your C drive, but if you had another physical hard drive, like a D drive or an E drive, you could have it saved to one of those locations, or you can easily move it after the fact. Domain controllers host the Kerberos authentication service. Kerberos, that's a term that you will hear a lot associated with Active Directory. That just means that the Kerberos itself is the authentication protocol for Active Directory. So when you type in your credentials, that's the protocol and the service that's actually authenticating your account. It also hosts this KDC service. This stands for Key Distribution Center. KDC, that is just an authentication service as well. So Kerberos is really kind of the protocol, the service that interacts with the end user, between the end user's computer and the domain controller. And on the domain controller, the KDC is actually the service that actually does the actual authentication. The key best practice for your domain controllers and their placement, we must have at a minimum 2 domain controllers. The reason that is true is so we don't have a single point of failure in our environment. You have 2 domain controllers. If one fails, the other can still authenticate users. Gives you a level of redundancy.